everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been just a little bit of a minute here, but we're getting things going again. A couple weeks ago, I posted on a few different social media platforms a little poll about what kind of video you wanted to see next, whether it was a guide to the Cinderella scholarship pageant or an updated pageant walk video. Now I'm going to do both. The poll was split almost exactly 50-50. So I decided, because it's easier for me, to film my guide to the Cinderella pageant video first, because I can do that before I go home and while I'm still sitting at the office after hours. So we're going to start with that today. The International Cinderella Scholarship Pageant happened a week ago. It started a week ago. And I was not able to attend this year. I was planning on it, but my family opened this brand new optical shop. I am the only employee here, so I don't get any time off. But we are planning to hire another full-time employee, and so I will be able to go next year. So I'm starting planning right now because I want to be the most prepared I possibly can by the time next year comes around with this pageant. So I figured I would bring you along on my journey and give you some tips on what I do every day, what my practices are like when I go and practice. I'll show you my clothes that I'm going to be wearing when I figure them out. We're thinking this might be part of it. I'm not showing you the whole thing because we're not in that video yet, but this is your little sneak peek. But I'll just bring you along the whole journey. So I figured we'd start with just a simple little kind of interview prep type video. The main thing that I do, I work on every day, and that's just my day-to-day interactions with people, trying to come up with a connection, trying to figure out how I can connect with people that I've never met before, and how I'll be able to remember them and they will be able to remember me and my business. And that, to me, is one of the most helpful things in an interview. I've been given a lot of different advice on interview over my years. I've been in the Cinderella pageant since I was 6 years old, so that's, 18 years now? And I've been an overall state title winner 3 times as a miniature miss in 2004, a teen in 2011, and a woman in 2015. I've competed on the international level 7 or 8 times, maybe 7, I don't know. But I've been in top 10 all but one of those times, and have been recognized even that one time that I was not in top 10. And those of you that know the system know that that is a huge thing, to be able to get recognized every time you go by the judges, which I feel incredibly honored for. And the main thing that keeps coming up when I have interview prep or ask people about tips is the judges don't remember anything you say. They just don't. They see so many people, they talk with so many people every day, that they're not going to remember what you say. They will, however, remember how you make them feel. And so in my day-to-day interactions, I'm talking with people about glasses. Just glasses, not really anything else, which for me is great because I love glasses, I'm super passionate about glasses, and it's easy for me to talk about that. But in an interview, I'm not talking about glasses the majority of the time. It may get brought up because that is my profession, and what my certifications are in, but that's not the main topic of conversation. So my struggle is, because I talk with people just about glasses, how can I connect with them on a personal level outside of glasses? And luckily I'm in a very social job, so it gives me the opportunity every single day, all day long, to work on this. And the easiest way for me to make an emotional connection to where they'll feel something and they'll be able to remember the experience is by telling stories, which some people think is not a great thing. If it's done the right way, it can really help an interview. So you want to be able to paint a picture, and you want to be able to pull feelings out of another person. So I've struggled a lot with depression and anxiety and a lot of other medical issues. And a lot of times in an interview, you're asked about the most difficult thing you've had to go through in your life. And if I were asked that, I would immediately respond with some stories about me in high school. I didn't have any friends. I felt very excluded. I became suicidal and was not aware of it until I was already on medication, and then afterwards realized that I was not in a good place mentally. And by going a little bit more in depth and pulling at those feelings that I was feeling, being lonely, feeling rejected, they're feelings that everybody feels at some point in their life, and that brings a connection with us. And then being able to say, I've been able to overcome that, and I've been able to start sharing my experience with other people to help them through their hard times. It brings this feeling of sadness and being little into this good, happy, positive feeling, but there's still that connection going on. And so it's those kind of things that I try to do every day to prep for interview. The other things I do, and we're just starting to get into this, is I like to sit down with lists of questions from many different resources. Pageant Planet is great. Just Google pageant questions, pageant interview questions. Now, the Cinderella pageant does not dive into the political questions at all. They're looking more to find out about you, who you are, what you like, what you don't like, more so than the political side of things. So I tend to avoid the political questions just because in this system they're not pertinent. But I'll sit down with those questions and I won't write them out. I never write them out because that gives me something to memorize, and I memorize very easily. So if I write it once, that's a very rehearsed question for me, and that means if someone were to ask me that question, I would rattle off what I wrote down word for word without thinking. And that totally eliminates the emotion behind an answer, which is where you find that connection. So I never write down my answers, but I'll sit either by myself, with my mom, with my husband, have them read me a question or read it to myself, and respond out loud. Even if you're sitting by yourself, respond vocally out loud so that you can hear what it sounds like coming out of your mouth. You can tell if you're sounding intelligent or if you're stumbling over words. If you just say it in your head, you can ramble on and not realize what's happening. So I always try to make sure that my answers are verbal and vocal, because then I can see and hear exactly what I'm sounding like to a judge. So that's my one day of quick tips just right now. I promise that I will continue this little series. We'll make it a playlist on my channel, and like I said, bring you along with my talent practice, my modeling practice, my speech practice, just everything. But for now, if you have anything else in this series that you would want me to talk about, like diet, exercise, they're super boring, I promise, but if you're interested in them at all, comment down below. Let me know those things. If there's anything else you can think about that you have questions about with the system, or that you're just curious as to what I do to prepare, leave a comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like this video. It encourages me to keep making more. And subscribe, hit that button. It's a real motivator, just to have people, or just to know that people are watching my videos. So please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, hit the like button, and I will talk to you all in a little while with that pageant walk video. See ya.